good afternoon from North London. I am here to bring you live commentary for Tottenham Hotspur's home game against Chelsea on this February Sunday afternoon. My name is Sam Armitage. You are listening to the Commentary Hub in what it hopes to be a very entertaining game between, well, two sides synonymous with the Champions League, with Europe, but for Chelsea, it is just a case of trying to not let the rest of the top half pull away from them as they sit in 10th place with only 2 wins since the Premier League restart from the World Cup at the end of December. Tottenham, however, moved into the top 4 last week with a 2-0 win against West Ham. With Newcastle not playing this weekend, obviously they've got a massive cup final to play. There's a chance for Tottenham to maybe make a little bit of breathing room between them and the Magpies, who sit in 5th. It's not going to be easy for them, though. They have a poor record against Chelsea, especially at home. Chelsea are the only side in the Premier League to have a 100% winning record at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And well, I mean, Chelsea, they've been good against Tottenham. They haven't lost to them since 2018 in the league. So we're in for a tough game. We're in for a tough game. Tottenham, they seem up for it, but Chelsea, they need to get back on winning ways. Obviously, last week and losing to bottom place Southampton at Stamford Bridge. We'll run through the lineups for you then. We're around about 3 minutes ahead towards kickoff. We'll start with the hosts, Tottenham, still without their captain Hugo Lloris, so Fraser Forster gets his 3rd league start in a row. Christian Romero, Eric Dyer and Clement Lenglet full out a back 3 in an unchanged side from that win against Tottenham. Emerson Royale, he seems to be a little bit revitalised since the signing of Pedro Porro in January. He gets his start on the right side of the wing-backs, and Ben Davies plays on the left. Oliver Skip and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg fill out the middle. A front 3 of Dejan Kulusevski, Richarlison, who is still yet to score a Premier League goal for Tottenham, and Harry Kane, the captain, up front. As for Chelsea, though, they start with Kepa Arrizabalaga. Reece James is back in the side, much to Chelsea fans' delight. Same with Thiago Silva, who partners Kalidou Koulibaly at the back. Ben Chilwell keeps his place after the loss last week at left back. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is back in the side. He partners Enzo Fernandez in the midfield. And then Hakim Ziyech, João Felix and Raheem Sterling all go behind Kai Havertz. Graham Potter, he's under a lot of pressure as Chelsea manager. He's going to need his players to pull something out of the bag as he needs to pick up a win. Only 2 wins since the restart, since after the World Cup, and obviously losing last week to the Premier League's bottom club. Joking about having a crisis meeting, but if he loses today, maybe that crisis meeting will be manifested. It's Tottenham versus Chelsea. It's the Premier League, and it's live here on the Commentary Hub. Go through the benches then for Tottenham. Brandon Austin, Japhet Tanganga, Davinson Sanchez, Pedro Porro, Pape Sarr, Ivan Perisic, Arnaud Danjuma, Lucas Moura, and more, especially Heung-min Son stays on the bench despite coming on last weekend and scoring against West Ham. As for Chelsea, a lot of firepower on that bench. They've made 6 changes from that loss against Southampton, so most of their big players do remain on the bench. Marco Bettinelli, Benoit Badiashile drops to the bench. Wesley Fofana, Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount, Denis Zakaria, Noni Madueke, Mykhailo Mudryk and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Obviously, a lot of those players new to the side. Chelsea spending £323 million in January on the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Noni Madueke, Mykhailo Mudryk, and João Felix, who you are seeing right now. The Portugueseman has had a bit of a torrid time so far, obviously getting sent off on his debut against Fulham. then coming back and scoring against West Ham. Didn't really do much last weekend against Southampton, though. It was a very good defensive performance from the Saints at Stamford Bridge. Ultimately, a few shots cleared off of the line. Chelsea will feel they were a bit hard done by not to take all 3 points last weekend. But they've got to put that behind them, and they've got to come out with all guns blazing against Tottenham. Like I said, Chelsea, the only team to win every single game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham are pretty good at home. Chelsea always seem to be able to counteract that. We'll see if Chelsea, despite a bit of poor form, will be able to win yet again. As we get kicked off, Chelsea shooting from left to right here as the ball goes down to Thiago Silva. Tottenham pressing quite well, but Chelsea seem to be withstanding it. Ben Chilwell on this left plays it inside to João Felix. João Felix gets a little bit of room and spreads the play to Reece James. Reece James obviously has been battling knee issues since before the World Cup, really. He wasn't in the Southampton squad, but Chelsea fans will be happy to see him back. It's his 10th league start, and obviously he scored in that in that 2-2 draw earlier in the season at Stamford Bridge. A game where that was managed by two different managers. Obviously, Antonio Conte still missing from the sideline, and obviously Thomas Tuchel soon sacked a few games after that 2-2 draw. It was a fiery affair. Harry Kane ended up scoring late to preserve a point for Tottenham. In the end, a little bit of arguments between the two managers at the end, but we'll see if anything stays the same as Raheem Sterling brings the ball into the box here. He goes down, nothing given. Cristiano Romero is going to bring this ball up. He's got Chelsea players swarmed after him, and João Felix ends up with the ball. He strikes it from distance, and it just goes wide. Raheem Sterling not happy that he didn't get a penalty. It's going to get checked by VAR, and already a minute and a half in, we've got some questions being asked of the referee. Look here, it's Oliver Skip, the culprit. He kicks out. I'm not too sure if there's enough in there, really, to warrant a penalty. Sterling does go down holding his left foot. Ultimately, I think if the referee doesn't give that on the field, it's probably not going to be given. It's not going to be overturned, and yet it is not. Chelsea players not too happy about that one. We'll resume with a goal kick. But already 2 minutes in, plenty to talk about as Fraser Forster plays it short to Clement Longley. Tottenham unchanged after their 2-0 win over West Ham, despite having needing to be playing midweek. They have Sheffield United away in the 5th round of the FA Cup. The ball's played through here. Kulusevski tries to cut it back, but it's well dealt with. Richarlison wins the ball back though. Here's Emerson Royale. Can't really get a good connection on that one as he tries to put the ball in the box. And now Chelsea have a chance to counter-attack. A lot of pace up front for Chelsea with the likes of Raheem Sterling and João Felix. Be interesting to see how Tottenham manage to negate the counter-attack if they're able to today. Here's Longley. He plays it back to Højbjerg under a bit of pressure from Havertz, but he manages to play the ball out to Eric Dyer. Højbjerg receives the ball back, plays it into Richarlison. This is Richarlison's seventh league start of the season, still yet to score a Premier League goal for Tottenham. Obviously, bagging a few in the Champions League group stages, unable to prosper in the Premier League yet, though, as Kane spreads the ball out to Emerson Royale. Here's Royale, takes it past Raheem Sterling, tries to feed the ball off, it's deflected back in his path, but Chelsea end up with the ball back. Here's Felix. He receives the ball back. And now Chelsea recycle the ball. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez plays it to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, another one of the players that wasn't in the Southampton squad, brought in today. Reece James to Thiago Silva, another two people who have been brought in for today's big game. Ben Chilwell now to Koulibaly. Chelsea enjoying a little bit of possession here. Tottenham not pressing them as much as they were doing in the early stages. Although having said that, we are still only 4 minutes in as Kulusevski wins the ball back, but Chelsea win it straight back. João Felix plays out to Chilwell, and again, they recycle it with Koulibaly. Enzo Fernandez now spreads the play to Reece James. Here's Reece James now. Plays it to Hakim Ziyech. Reece James tries to return the ball back, but he can't get the ball under his control. Enzo Fernandez now. João Felix spreads the play to Ben Chilwell, who has a little bit of space here. Raheem Sterling going to run at the defence here, but Emerson Royale sticks a foot out, and it's a good challenge. Cristian Romero will end up with the ball. Royale, Romero, Oliver Skip now. But that's a good tackle by Felix. And now Chelsea have a chance now. Although it's ended up, Tottenham have got back well there, and Chelsea are going to end up having the ball inside their own half with Koulibaly. Koulibaly now spreads the play out left again. A lot of Chelsea's attack in the first 5 minutes coming down this left-hand side. Here's Felix. Felix under a lot of pressure, but manages to get the ball out to Thiago Silva, who plays in Loftus-Cheek here. Loftus-Cheek down to Reece James, who we know is a threat on this right-hand side. He was on the score sheet against Tottenham earlier in the season. Enzo Fernandez plays the ball back to Koulibaly. Now down this left-hand side yet again with Raheem Sterling. Sterling plays it back to Ben Chilwell. Is Koulibaly again. João Felix. Chelsea starting to move the ball around a little bit quicker now. Koulibaly squeezes one through to Ben Chilwell there. Chilwell, not much option here. He plays it back to João Felix. Felix on the ball. Drives forward with it. Stops and gives it back to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, that's a good ball forward. It's João Felix. He can't seem to get to it though. It's a great ball forward by the former Benfica man. And João Felix, he was coming in on the slide. It's a tough one to try and take down. And ultimately unable to catch it with his right foot there. He got on the best of Ben Davies. He's got on the best of Clement Longley, when it came to the pace, but the ball just got away from him. Chelsea asking a few questions of Tottenham in the early stages, though. We're about 6.5 minutes in. It's still 0-0. But that's the quality that Chelsea possess. You know, when you're spending £100 million on players such as Enzo Fernandez, that's the quality in the final third that he can bring. Here's Felix now. Hakim Ziyech. He's going to want it on his left foot. He turns and plays it back to Reece James, who plays it into João Felix. Felix. Ziyech. Felix caught after passing that ball, though, and the referee decides that there's no advantage. And Chelsea will have a free kick around about 30 yards out from Tottenham's goal. Yeah, Eric Dyer leaving one in there after Felix gave the ball to Reece James. And now Eric Dyer has a lot of organisation to do as a central defender in the back three of an unchanged lineup. Tottenham didn't have too many chances against West Ham last week, but they did take them. And as a result, they sit in the top four. Obviously, with the amount of money that's been put into Chelsea, that would have been the aim for the Blues. However, a win today will not even see him climb up to 9th. The ball's played in. There's a Tottenham player on the floor in the penalty area. The ball's going to go out and the referee will call a stoppage. It's Cristian Romero who's gone down holding his jaw. Doesn't seem to be in too much discomfort though. We'll have to see what happened to him there. I think he just might have been caught on the side of the face a little bit. Thiago Silva is managing there. There's a little bit of shoulder there. And I think an elbow was just lent in maybe. I don't think there's any malice in it. But Thiago Silva has to be a little bit careful where he flails his arms around in the penalty area. Obviously, Thiago Silva with a lot of experience, the 38-year-old captain tonight for Chelsea. João Felix whips the ball in. It's well dealt with, though. Loftus-Cheek now. It's flicked onto Raheem Sterling. Sterling tries to play a reverse ball to Ben Chilwell, but it doesn't work out. Emerson Royale ends up with it and ends up winning a free kick. Raheem Sterling not too happy with the referee's decision there. Ultimately, the referee deciding that Sterling did pull back on Emerson. Reece James obviously coming in for the injured Cesar Azpilicueta, who came off on a stretcher last week against Southampton. We hope Chelsea fans will love that they'll be seeing him before long. But having Reece James to come back in isn't too bad of a replacement. Chelsea have a throw-in now deep inside their own half. Just under 10 minutes gone here. You're listening live on the commentary hub. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 0. As the ball is spread out again down Ben Chilwell's left-hand side. Chelsea have had a lot of the ball so far, but that's come to be expected of how Tottenham play. They like to hit teams on the counter-attack. They haven't had much chance to do so far, though. But now, I say that, now they have a bit of chance now with Harry Kane on the ball, but Chelsea have got back well. Tottenham started the ball, though, as Kane spreads it far wide to Ben Davies, who flicks it into Richarlison. Handball cries from the Tottenham fans, but nothing given. And now Ruben Loftus-Cheek will run away with the ball, but ultimately he ran out of green, and Højbjerg gets possession back. Richarlison goes down, and the referee gives a free kick against Hakim Ziyech. Richarlison did well to get his body in the way there, and Ziyech just bundled him over. Stuart Atwell giving the free kick. Here's Højbjerg now. Longley. Back to Højbjerg. Højbjerg, the Danish international, enjoying his best productive season in front of goal. 4 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League for the centre midfielder, including 1 at Stamford Bridge. And now Tottenham have a chance. They've robbed the ball in the middle there, but ultimately Thiago Silva dispossesses Harry Kane. That was almost. Oh, now Chelsea have a bit of a chance now. Kai Havertz getting into the Tottenham penalty area now, knocks it back to Hakim Ziyech with a bit of room, tries to whip one in, but it's well dealt with by Clement Longley. I was saying that was almost a carbon copy of Højbjerg's goal at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, a lot of controversy surrounding whether a foul was given and whether it was still in the same passage of play. Ultimately, Højbjerg's goal was given. But that game is behind us as we focus on the now. We are around about 11.5 minutes into this game. Chelsea enjoying just over 2/3 of the possession so far. But Tottenham have had a few chances to break away, but Chelsea have defended really well with Thiago Silva at the back. And he has the ball now. Thiago Silva plays a square ball to Koulibaly. Nice 1-2 with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Koulibaly, back to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek plays it back to Thiago Silva. Enzo Fernandez now. Fernandez plays one out right to Reece James. Reece James takes it past Richarlison infield and leaves it for Loftus-Cheek to take over, who spreads it out to the left now. Ben Chilwell. Raheem Sterling now with the ball. Sterling looks to take it past Royale, and he does with his pace. Whips the ball in. Ziyech challenges, but Kai Havertz can't seem to win the second ball, and Tottenham are going to end up breaking away now with Kulusevski, you'd think. He takes it past Ben Chilwell, his opposite number, plays it infield to Harry Kane. Harry Kane, there's a bit of room on this left-hand side if he can find it, and he does with Ben Davies now. Can he pick the ball out? He plays it back. Here's Kulusevski. Harry Kane now on the ball, just inside Chelsea's penalty area. Takes it past one, takes it past Reece James, but Koulibaly is there to clean up. What a lovely piece of skill from Harry Kane there to get the Tottenham fans going. And Tottenham now with their first real chance of the game. They have a corner. Kulusevski just picking the ball and giving it to Harry Kane. He takes it past Thiago Silva, puts it through Reece James's legs. Luckily for Chelsea, Kalidou Koulibaly there to clean up. And I think it was a mixture of Thiago Silva and Koulibaly, actually. I think Thiago Silva managed to make up for his prior error, but he does go down and he looks like he is in a little bit of discomfort. I think Harry Kane just landed on his knee there, and he's grasping hold to his right knee here as the Chelsea physios come on to look after him. This can't be good if you're a Chelsea fan, really, as the physios still tend to Thiago Silva inside the 6-yard box. Obviously, Chelsea do have January signing Benoit Badiashile and summer signing Wesley Fofana on the bench to come on if needs be. It was Badiashile and Kalidou Koulibaly who formed the centre-back partnership last week against Southampton. Although Thiago Silva, he looks to be in a little bit more comfort now, you got to think. Just bending that knee. The pain isn't really etched on his face as much as it was recently. But obviously, it's up to Graham Potter to decide if he wants to take the risk of keeping Thiago Silva out there. We know how important he is to this Chelsea defence. He's such a veteran of the game at the age of 38, but he's still aging like a fine wine. He's still producing at such a high level. As we have a look, Badiashile and Wesley Fofana are getting ready to warm up, maybe, just in case Thiago Silva has to be withdrawn from the side. Fofana, obviously a summer signing from Leicester, hasn't had many games so far, but one of the many people that's been brought in by Todd Broley over the past, if I can do my maths, 6 months. Thiago Silva, he's running a little bit on his foot now. He seems to be okay. He'll probably come back on. However, he won't be available to defend this corner that Kulusevski is ready to take with his left foot here. Kulusevski, it's an outswinger towards the back post. Goes for everyone, but Oliver Skip with the ball now. Whips the ball in, and Romero challenges Kepa in the air. And it'll be a goal kick. I don't know if Romero was onside or not, but either way, they decided the last touch did come off of Christian Romero, and it will be a goal kick. Thiago Silva has made his way back on, but he's still limping a little bit. I think he's probably going to soldier on those. We just passed the 15-minute mark in this first half. It's still 0-0 on the scoreboard. Graham Potter on his feet now, maybe just assessing the situation. He's obviously still moving a little bit gingerly, is the Brazilian centre-back. And he's shaking his head. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to continue. As Stuart Atwell gets something adjusted on his shoulder. That's why there's a stoppage in the play, but there might be need for a little bit more as Chelsea may be forced into making their first change of the game 16 minutes in. Yes, Wesley Fofana is going back to the bench and he's getting ready to come on. It's interesting that Fofana's the one to come on over Benoit Badiashile. Obviously, Badiashile has been almost ever present ever since coming in January. And yeah, as you can see, I think he just got sandwiched really in between Koulibaly and Harry Kane. And as soon as it happens, you can see on his face just the pain. He's still going to carry on at the moment, but you got to think next ball out, Fofana's probably going to take his place. Havertz now. And João Felix has a little bit of room to run. He strikes it. And it ends up down the throat of Fraser Forster. It's a good chance for Chelsea, though. Kai Havertz winning the ball, playing it through Eric Dyer's legs. And João Felix, well, ultimately, Raheem Sterling's run ended up going too far right for João Felix's liking, and he took it just outside the box. Thiago Silva down again. Yes, João Felix obviously driving through the middle there, decided he didn't have an option, and the best option was to shoot. Ultimately, it was struck with venom, but down the throat of Fraser Forster. Yes, Thiago Silva down again, and Stuart Atwell forced to stop the game for the time being. And a substitution is going to be made. Thiago Silva's day comes to an end after 18 minutes. And obviously, he wasn't in the squad last week against Southampton. Coming back this week, he'll be disappointed to come off in such an important game as well. But it's a chance for Wesley Fofana, the French international, to come on and partner up with Koulibaly at the back. The young defender, former Leicester man, comes on as the game is going to restart. I think with a drop ball. Yeah, Stuart Atwell ready to do a drop ball, and Tottenham will regain possession. Here's Christian Romero now. Tottenham enjoying a little bit of possession at the back, something that they haven't really had the luxury of so far in this opening 20 minutes or so. Longley now, under a bit of pressure from Loftus-Cheek, but he manages to play it back. Here's Fraser Forster. Forster plays it inside to Oliver Skip. Oliver Skip, Emerson Royale, Skip, nice return ball there. Oliver Skip has a chance to drive now. Plays it into Kulusevski. Here's the Swede on this right-hand side. Plays it into Højbjerg. Emerson Royale's making a darting run forward, but instead Højbjerg opts to switch the ball to Ben Davies, who heads it infield. And it's struck by Harry Kane, but he didn't get all of it. And it trickles wide of Kepa's left post. It's a good switch by Højbjerg to Ben Davies. Ultimately, his head back to Harry Kane is a good one as well, but the strike doesn't live up to the prior move. The Tottenham fans still serenade Harry Kane. They love him. He's been the only player on the pitch so far that started in every single game so far this season. And obviously, Harry Kane's having a really good goal-scoring season. 17 goals so far this season. And if it wasn't for Erling Haaland's freakishly amazing goal tally so far, you'd be looking at Harry Kane as a person who could potentially get 25-30 this season. Anyway, here's Kai Havertz on this left corner flag. Ball's whipped in, and it's deflected off of Emerson Royale, but Romero manages to keep it in and just nonchalantly feeds a ball through Kai Havertz's legs to Emerson Royale. Maybe a little bit too casual, given that he was in his own box. But, yeah, I mean, that's a lovely little bit of skill. Tottenham will have a goal kick now, which they play out to this left-hand side. Ben Davies plays it back to Longley. Eric Dyer now. Chelsea with a little bit of pressure, forcing Tottenham to go long, and they're going to get the ball back. Richarlison goes down, but the referee says nothing doing. However, Enzo Fernandez gives the ball away. Loftus-Cheek wins it back, though. Plays out to João Felix, but he was in an offside position. Well, Højbjerg went down, but the referee said nothing doing. They're having a little bit of a word now. Højbjerg, he's all smiles. He sees the light side of it. Here's Eric Dyer now at the back. Plays it to Clement Longley. Longley inside to Højbjerg. Højbjerg plays a long ball, but that's wasteful, and it's going to end up going straight into Kepa. And now Chelsea have a chance to build from the back. Kepa Arrizabalaga now plays it out to Wesley Fofana, who's getting his first touches after being subbed on for Thiago Silva around about 4 minutes ago. It's played back to Kepa now, who plays it to Koulibaly. Here's Koulibaly now. Koulibaly plays a long one down the line. Ultimately, that's wasteful, though. Emerson Royale now. And Tottenham are going to get a throw-in. Ben Chilwell conceding the throw-in. Just over halfway through this first half, we are still goalless on the scoreboard. Probably the best chance so far falling to João Felix, whose strike ended up going straight down the middle of the goal. Fraser Foster not really troubled. Richarlison there fouling Wesley Fofana. He was close to nicking the ball there, and if he did cleanly, he'd have been straight through. And Reece James, it was, not Fofana, is a little bit lucky there. He was caught in possession, but did well to win the free kick, which Kepa is going to take. He plays it out left to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell plays it inside. Here's Raheem Sterling, turns, but that's a great challenge by Kulusevski, but it does end up falling in Chilwell's way. A bit of a foot race between him and Emerson Royale, which Emerson wins, but he does concede a corner. Now Chelsea have a chance to put a bit more pressure on. Chilwell took it past Royale, and it looked like he was getting the better of the Brazilian wing-back, but Emerson Royale did well to get back in front of the English full-back and tackle it, and it is now a corner on this far side for Chelsea. Just over halfway through the first half. You got to look at Fofana and Havertz lining up, really. They're the main players. Koulibaly too, who did score a header at Stamford Bridge. It's whipped in by Ziyech, but headed away by Richarlison. Only as far as Raheem Sterling now. He picks the ball up and whips a decent ball in, but again, it's well dealt with. Here's Loftus-Cheek. Back out to Sterling. Sterling, swarmed by a couple of Tottenham players. Richarlison goes down, nothing given. Sterling now plays it in. Here's Loftus-Cheek. Plays it on the edge of the box. It's struck, but it's well blocked by Christian Romero and hacked away. I think Richarlison wanted a free kick there, but nothing given. Ultimately, Chelsea were able to work a decent option, a decent chance, but Christian Romero was there in the way to block the ultimate shot from outside the box. And now Chelsea have a chance to build up again from the back. Enzo Fernandez now on the ball, just inside his own half. Plays a square ball to Kalidou Koulibaly, who has moved over to this right-hand side now that Thiago Silva has been substituted off. Loftus-Cheek loses possession, but it's won back by Ziyech. Ziyech does well. He plays it out to Fernandez, who plays a cross-field ball to João Felix, who's going to have to leap high to keep the ball in play there, but he does so successfully. Enzo Fernandez on the ball now again. Plays it inside to Sterling, who turns and he has a little bit of room to run, but he plays it out left to Chilwell. Chilwell now to Felix. Here's João Felix. Ben Chilwell. It's good one-touch stuff, this. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez again. Plays it out wide to Kalidou Koulibaly. A lot of Chelsea's build-up play has been slow so far. They need to really turn up the tempo. Tottenham are happy playing like this. Here's Hakim Ziyech now, but he loses the ball to Richarlison. And Richarlison this time goes to ground and this time gets his free kick. And Tottenham will have a little bit of respite, just over 25 minutes played here. It's still 0-0 and Tottenham have a chance to build maybe an attack from the back. Here's Christian Romero. Plays it across to Eric Dyer. Dyer now. Plays it inside. Højbjerg. Højbjerg has probably had the most touches of any Tottenham player so far. He's always open to receive the ball at the back. Here's Oliver Skip now. Harry Kane dropping deep to get possession just inside his own half. Plays a cross-field ball to Emerson Royal. Royal drives with it and plays it out to Kulusevski. Kulusevski plays it back. Here's Clement Longley now on this left-hand side. He turns in and plays an infield ball to Eric Dyer. Højbjerg. Romero. Tries to feed the ball through to Harry Kane, and he does. Kane plays it off to Richarlison. Richarlison. Skip. That's nice 1-2. That's nice football. And it's struck from distance, and it's off the post! Højbjerg hits the post! And that is the closest we have come to breaking the deadlock. It's a great advantage being played by Stuart Atwell. Richarlison plays a lovely 1-2 and then feeds the ball off. It's a foul by Enzo Fernandez, and Højbjerg's strike ultimately is deflected by Reece James onto the post. Højbjerg close to scoring against Chelsea yet again this season. He just needs one more goal to solidify his highest scoring tally of a league season in his career. Well, it's deflected by Wesley Fofana, just off of the post. And Tottenham, really against a run of play, having the chance there to break the deadlock. They will have a corner now, though. You know, the attack's not done. Richarlison still talking to the referee. I think he wants a yellow card for Enzo Fernandez, but nothing is given. Stuart Atwell just explaining his decision-making to the Brazilian striker. Tottenham's number 9 gets ready to attack the corner. It's an in-swinger. It's well dealt with by Koulibaly. Harry Kane now plays it back to Højbjerg. And Tottenham are going to have to go further back to Royal. Royal takes it infield, plays it out to Harry Kane on this left-hand side. Kane to Højbjerg, who almost just broke the deadlock there, hitting the post. Kane's ball's not good enough though, and Reece James now has a chance to start an attack. And that's a foul by Richarlison. And Stuart Atwell not very happy with what happened there. Richarlison stopping the counter-attack, and now I think Reece James is the one who wants a yellow card. It's going to be a stern talking to, you got to think, maybe. It's a bit of a cynical one, just tripping Reece James up as he starts to cross the halfway line. Reece James mimicking a yellow card. And yeah, just Richarlison running across Reece James there and just clipping his heels. Nothing given in the end, though. But this is starting to become a little bit of a feisty one. And with Richarlison on the pitch, you know, it's always going to be an entertaining one. Here's Ben Chilwell now on this left-hand side. Plays out to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez goes back to Koulibaly. Koulibaly back over on this left-hand side. It seems like these two Chelsea centre-backs are a bit fluid in where they play on the side of the back too. Tottenham are going to get possession here with Ben Davies, though. Davies takes it past Ziyech and tries to play a ball down the line, but it's deflected by Ziyech. into the path of Longley, who plays it back to Fraser Forster. Forster making his third league start in a row. Obviously, the absence of Hugo Lloris through injury means that the former Southampton man is seeing a lot more Premier League time on the field than he probably expected at the start of the season. As the crossfield ball isn't good enough and it'll go out of play for a Tottenham throw-in on this far side. Just coming into half an hour played, you're listening to commentary through the commentary hub. It is Tottenham versus Chelsea, 0-0 the scoreline. If you're just joining us, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg coming closest to breaking the deadlock with a strike deflected by Wesley Fofana onto the post. Tottenham tried to break away, but ultimately Højbjerg penalised for a foul on his opposite number, Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea have had a lot of the possession, but nothing to really scream about, as they lose the ball again here, and Emerson Royal has a chance to break through. No free kick was given to the away side. Here's Kulusevski now. Takes it past Fernandez. Royal tries to play a reverse ball back to Kulusevski, but it's dealt with well by Koulibaly, and it'll go out for yet another Tottenham corner, their third of the game so far. And I think Emerson Royal was looking for a short one there, but it was well tracked by Enzo Fernandez. Kulusevski is going to be the person to deliver the ball in. It does end up going short to Royal, who whips the ball towards the back post, towards Richarlison, but it's headed away. Only as far as Ben Davies, though, who plays a long ball back to Fraser Forster in goal. Now it's time for Forster to return a long ball forward towards Richarlison, but it's well won in the air. Only as far as Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, though. Here's Christian Romero now, in a bit of an attacking position. Plays his Harry Kane and continues his run forward. Kane tries to find him again, but in the end, Wesley Fofana does well to just direct the pass another way, and Kepa is going to end up with the ball. And speaking of Fofana, now he's on the floor in a bit of discomfort. The man who was substituted on for Thiago Silva about 13 minutes ago is down, and he's holding his left hamstring by the looks of things. He gets back up, and this is definitely not what Chelsea want to see. Obviously, Fofana did well to clear that ball, but he does do it on a bit of a full stretch. We'll see if he can carry on. Again, just rubbing that left hamstring, trying to get it back to life almost. Kepa will end up with the ball here. A few jeers as he takes his time to play the ball. A bit of confusion, but I mean, Kepa's not being closed down, and now he pick the ball up and throw it out to Ben Chilwell, much to the displeasure of Tottenham fans. Koulibaly plays it back to Kepa, who was under a lot of pressure by Harry Kane there, and as he plays that ball, Kane Kepa knows what he's doing. He leaves his foot out, and allows Kane just to run into it, and goes down the floor, and he's going to win a free kick. Kepa probably isn't the most popular person in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium right now, but yeah, I think Harry Kane knows what he's doing there too. He's definitely not pulling out of that one. But anyway, Kepa, he's back to his feet. He'll have a free kick. Harry Kane's going to have a bit of a talking to. 33 minutes played. We are around about 12 minutes away from the end of the first half. It's still goalless on the scoreboard. However, we are probably going to have a few added minutes. Obviously, Thiago Silva being withdrawn around about 18 minutes in through injury. So that'll probably put a couple minutes on the added time board. Here's Kepa Arrizabalaga now. Every single time he gets the ball, he's going to be put under a lot of pressure by Tottenham's fans. A bit of a loose ball, but it's ended up going back to Kepa, who tries to start a quick counter-attack, throwing it out to Reece James, who plays it to Ziyech. Ziyech takes it inside, tries to play a reverse ball, but it's well dealt with by Longley. And now it's a chance for Tottenham to counter-attack with Richarlison. Plays it out to Højbjerg. Højbjerg plays it into Kane. Kane now. So Emerson Royal, he's got a man on, and it's well done by Raheem Sterling doing his defensive duties to dispossess him. Here's Kai Havertz now. The Chelsea striker, one of the deepest players in the Chelsea half at the moment. Here's Sterling. Plays one down to Havertz. But Romero with an absolutely booming clearance off of Kai Havertz, and Tottenham are going to get the throw in. The Tottenham fans love that. They let out a massive cheer. And Romero goes straight through that ball there. And then I think he might be feeling the effects of it. He's gone down holding his jaw yet again. And obviously, he went down holding his face earlier in the game off of a challenge from Thiago Silva. We'll see what happens that's caused him to do this. Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a collision with Kai Havertz. Havertz running at full speed. Romero standing still. What happens when a runaway train hits a brick wall? Well, the brick wall goes down and holds his face. But he's back up now as Tottenham have a throw-in. Emerson Royale throws it back to Christian Romero. I mean, let's be honest. Christian Romero is probably one of the hardest players on the field right now. He's probably not going to be a man to come off after a bit of a collision like that. He's on the ball now, is the Argentine. Plays it to Emerson Royale. Back to Romero. Eric Dyer now. Plays it out left to Clement Longley, where Tottenham have a little bit of room. Richarlison comes deep to get it. Tries to play a 1-2, but leaves the 2 short. And then it ends up being cleared by Chelsea. Here's Emerson Royale now. Being a little bit more conservative with the ball, Tottenham are. Just trying to get a little bit of possession going. Here's Clement Longley now on this left-hand side. Tottenham driving it into Chelsea's half now with Højbjerg. Højbjerg to Ben Davies. Oliver Skip now. Tottenham have a bit of room on this left-hand side if they can exploit it. In the end, the ball's played in the middle and it's dispossessed. Here's João Felix. João Felix now plays it back to Fofana. Fofana looking a little bit better now after going down holding his hamstring a few minutes ago. Enzo Fernandez on the ball now. He struggles to get the ball out of his feet, but ends up playing it back to Koulibaly. Fofana on the ball now. Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek to Hakim Ziyech. Ziyech to Reece James. Enzo Fernandez now. Fernandez to Kai Havertz. Koulibaly to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell out to Raheem Sterling now, who has a chance to run out Emerson Royale here. Takes it far side. Cuts it back. João Felix slides to get the ball and he keeps possession. Ultimately loses it and it's going to be a goal kick. He did well to get the ball after a bit of a weak cross from Raheem Sterling. Left it short for him. But ultimately, once he gets the ball, he's always going to be a tough one, already being on the floor. And he's swarmed by Romero and Eric Dyer, and he ends up backing the ball out of play for a goal kick. Romero now on the ball. Plays it across to Eric Dyer. Dyer to Longley. Longley plays an inside ball to Harry Kane. Harry Kane holding the ball up like we all know he does so well. Then plays it out to Emerson Royale. Royale on this right-hand side. Harry Kane given an option, but he uses Richarlison instead, who plays a decent ball over, trying to find Kulusevski. But again, any ball over the top has been well dealt with by Koulibaly. Chelsea unable to mount a counter-attack as Emerson Royale puts in a decently timed challenge. And in the end, Chelsea will have a throw-in around about halfway through their own half. Another man on the floor here, Emerson Royale, probably feeling the worst after that challenge. Not exactly holding anything. I think he just maybe a little bit gassed after that big sliding tackle. He's up and he's back though. And Chelsea are able to continue play here. Still 0-0 here in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Closing in on the 40-minute mark. It's played forward towards Kai Havertz. Longley heads it back to Emerson Royale. He's under a bit of pressure from Raheem Sterling here, but finds Højbjerg, who plays it back to Dyer. Dyer plays it back to Fraser Forster. Forster's not had much to do other than that strike early on from João Felix that went straight down the middle. As for Tottenham, the closest that they've come, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's strike deflected off of Wesley Fofana onto the post. Here's Højbjerg now. Oliver skip, and he gives it back to Højbjerg. Ben Davies. Davies plays it back to Højbjerg. Tottenham enjoying a little bit more possession now than they were able to in the early stages of this half. Kind of grown into it, have the Spurs. Plays it out to Højbjerg now. Højbjerg. Longley has a bit of room, and Højbjerg chooses to use it. The Longley ends up coming back inside. Here's Oliver Skip. Tottenham just nice patient build-up here, trying to find an opening, but Chelsea is standing strong. Here's Ben Davies now. Davies inside to Harry Kane. We all know he has the vision to split defences. It's given away by Ziyech. Only as far as Richarlison. Richarlison strikes, but he can't get enough curl on the ball, and it just flies well wide of the target. Richarlison obviously still searching for that elusive first Premier League goal for Tottenham since moving from Everton in the summer. This is his 7th start for Tottenham in the league. Obviously, he's keeping Heung-min Son out of the side, who came on last week to bag his 4th Premier League goal of the season. It'd be interesting to see if Son comes on later today, and if so, when. Obviously, Tottenham still probably have one eye on their FA Cup 5th round tie against Championship promotion hopeful Sheffield United midweek on Wednesday. So it'd be interesting to see who features in that one, as a late challenge from Oliver Skip gives Chelsea a free kick just inside their own half. Ziyech will collect the ball, and the free kick will be taken. As we head into half-time, I think it's probably been a bit of a timid affair. Both sides not really wanting to give the other the edge so far. Both sides defending really, really well. As for Graham Potter, obviously 2 wins in 9 Premier League games since returning from the World Cup. It needs to start clicking for him, and it needs to start clicking for him soon. And what a way to do it than winning at Tottenham, a side who before today sit in the top 4 and will remain in the top 4 after today's game. Obviously, with Newcastle not playing this weekend in the Premier League, they obviously have that big chance to bag their first piece of silverware in a very, very long time, as they face Manchester United at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final later on today, which you can check out on the commentary hub as well. However, Tottenham, coming into this game, do have 1 game in hand on Newcastle, and obviously after playing this, we'll have 2 games in hand. So creating the buffer between the 2 sides is definitely needed. Chelsea now attacking on this left-hand side. They're the only side so far to have a shot on target in this game. Obviously, that strike from João Felix going straight down the middle. Not really challenging Fraser Forster that much. Enzo Fernandez on the ball now. Spreads it to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek plays it out right to Reece James. Ziyech now on the ball. Plays it back to Fofana. Fofana under a bit of pressure, but does so well to take it past both Harry Kane and Richarlison. And then it's spread by Ziyech. Here's Raheem Sterling. He's got support in Ben Chilwell. Choosing not to take it. Strikes it! And it's a good save by Fraser Forster. It's a good height for him. And Fraser Forster forced into action for the 2nd time tonight. Raheem Sterling uses Ben Chilwell as a decoy. Takes it in field. Strikes it. You know, if there's any qualms with the shot, it is a bit central. You'd expect Fraser Forster to save it. In the end, he doesn't really get proper contact on it, does Forster? He manages to miss it with his hands, and it hits his chest to stop it going in. I think Sterling just needs to wrap the ball a little bit towards the far corner. In the end, Fraser Forster making his 2nd save of the evening. Chelsea almost breaking the deadlock there just before half-time. And they'll have a chance maybe to do it again, as here comes Ziyech on the ball. Plays it out right to João Felix. He's got not much support, but does manage to win himself a corner. Late in the first half, can Chelsea break the deadlock? You got to think if either side score now, that's going to change the team talks of both managers. as Koulibaly gets ready to enter the box. You got to think he's the main threat in the air, but they also have the likes of Fofana and Kai Havertz, big, tall strikers and defenders, ready to attack this Ben Chilwell corner. Joao Felix on the goalkeeper as Fraser Forster just towers over him. Ben Chilwell getting ready for the in-swinger. Whips it towards the far post, towards Koulibaly, but it's headed away by Emerson Royale. Again, both sides just trying to get control of the ball. And in the end, it's going to be Tottenham who have the throw-in. As we head into added time in the first half, obviously, with Thiago Silva's withdrawal from the game due to injury, we're going to have a few, and there's 3 minutes being added on. Raheem Sterling losing his foot in there, which led to a few ironic, sarcastic jeers from Tottenham fans and a Tottenham throw-in, which Emerson Royale will take inside his own half. Royale plays it back to Romero, who fires a ball upfield. Well won in the air by Loftus-Cheek, but only as far as Harry Kane, who drops deep to get in the ball, as we know he does a lot of the time. Here's Longley, striding forward into the Chelsea half, plays it back. Here's Harry Kane. Kane plays one out. Here's Kulusevski. Whips a ball in, but it's headed away by Fofana. You got to think that was a chance. Tottenham had outnumbered Chelsea in their own penalty area, but the ball from Kulusevski wasn't good enough. Richarlison goes down with the challenge from Hakim Ziyech, and Richarlison, he gets up, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving between the Brazilian and the Moroccan. It looks like Hakim Ziyech is going to end up in the referee's book, but is he the only person that Stuart Atwell is going to card? Emerson Royale is on the floor holding his face. It'd be interesting to see what happened that led to that. A few Chelsea players around him. It was a poor challenge from Hakim Ziyech, you got to think. But, I mean, there's no need for that reaction from Richarlison. But we all know that he's a bit of a fiery individual as the Brazilian striker. The referee just consulting one of his officials to see if he saw anything that happened in that little scuffle. Stuart Atwell, he's heard what he wants to hear, and he's ready to brandish some cards, you got to think. VAR are checking the whole situation. It's going to be Kai Havertz who gets the yellow card. Is that all, though? He's looking around. Marching over towards someone. Kai Havertz in the referee's book, and it looks like Emerson Royale may follow. He's having a bit of a talking to with Stuart Atwell. The cards are still out. Yeah, telling off, and a yellow card for Emerson Royale for his part in the little kerfuffle there between the two sides. Is that all, though? The cards are still out. Hakim Ziyech obviously doing the foul, and the card was out before the whole scuffle between the two sides. So I think Hakim Ziyech's a bit lucky to escape punishment, really. Richarlison did get the ball, and Ziyech is going for the ball there, but it is a poor challenge. And yeah, I mean the foul's given, and the referee brings his cards out almost immediately. And yeah, Ziyech ends up lashing out on Emerson Royale. So it is a little bit lucky that Ziyech isn't in the book, you got to think. Yeah, I mean Ziyech does end up lashing out, and he does connect with Royale's face. Stuart Atwell is still awaiting confirmation from VAR. Maybe VAR are looking at whether this is going to be a red card rather than the initial yellow. Who knows? He goes to his pocket, and it's going to be red. It is red. Hakim Ziyech has been sent off here. What an end to this first half. It's another blow in the cap of Graham Potter as Chelsea manager. And that's, Stuart Atwell, he's still the main focus. Hakim Ziyech has been shown the red card, but Stuart Atwell is off to VAR. Maybe just to get confirmation, you got to think. He's off to the screen. I mean, Ziyech, he does lash out, and he does catch Emerson Royale on the face. I wouldn't be surprised if this red card will stand. Ziyech still remains on the touchline, awaiting confirmation. Stuart Atwell seeing what he wants to see. They're obviously just checking the push in the face. They're not checking the foul. They're not checking what came before it. Stuart Atwell marches over towards the dugouts here. Plenty of players from both sides in the referee's ear. Ziyech is still on the pitch. And he goes to his pocket. And the red card has been rescinded. It's been rescinded. And it's just going to be yellow. Is Ziyech a lucky boy there? It's a bit of a lifeline for Graham Potter's men. What an end to this first half, you got to say. We're over the 3 minutes played, but yet again, there's probably still going to be another couple of minutes of football before we head into the break. So, to bring that all together, Kai Havertz booked, Emerson Royale booked, and Hakim Ziyech booked. However, is lucky not to be sent off, as Stuart Atwell did brandish the red card initially before going to VAR and overturning the decision. What an end to the first half here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but we're still not done yet. Tottenham have the ball on this right-hand side, but throw-in's given to Chelsea. Well, we said pre-game that this game was going to have a little bit of fire in it after the game at Stamford Bridge earlier in the season. Had a lot of talking points. Obviously, VAR was one of the main talking points in that one with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's goal. And then it ended with Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte both being red carded after the game. And well, a red card was brandished, however rescinded in favour of Chelsea and Hakim Ziyech. A lifeline for the Blues, who have a throw-in here on this far side. We are just coming up to 7 minutes played after the 45. Only 3 minutes were added on, but Stuart Atwell, he's not ready to blow the whistle yet. Reece James to Wesley Fofana now. Fofana plays the ball left, and here's Ben Chilwell on the ball. Chilwell plays it back to Koulibaly. Referee still not blowing the whistle for half-time yet. Koulibaly now to Fofana. Fofana spreads the play to Raheem Sterling, but Emerson Royale does well to intercept. And now Tottenham have a chance to counter-attack just before the end of the half with Kulusevski. He takes it round one. Plays a good ball out wide to Ben Davies, who has a bit of room on this left-hand side. He plays the ball through, but it's behind Richarlison. Cleared away. And that brings to a close the half-time in what was a pretty tepid affair. You got to think before added time, where both sides were involved in a little bit of a scuffle that saw 3 yellow cards being brandished, but it could have been 2 yellows and 1 red. Hakim Ziyech, you got to think, is lucky to still remain on the field after being brandished a red card initially by Stuart Atwell. In the end, he went to the VAR board, and he decided that it was just a yellow card offence. So it's still 11v11, and at half-time, here on the commentary hub, between Tottenham and Chelsea, it's 0-0. Well, welcome back to what has been an interesting affair, albeit still goalless here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham on the attack, and Emerson Royale's got the ball and he strikes it. And Kepa forced to make a save all but 15 seconds, and he struck again. Oh! What a hit that is! Oliver Skipp with his first goal for Tottenham. And what a hit that is! Well, I was about to say it was a fiery end to the first half, and it's been an equally fiery start to the second. I apologise for not being straight away before being live straight away just before the start of the second half. But what a way to open the second half. Tottenham just start, and it's a good strike by Emerson Royale. Kepa makes a good save, but it's not dealt with. And Oliver Skipp strike crashes off the top of the crossbar. Kepa can't do anything about it. What a hit that is! The clearance from Enzo Fernandez towards João Felix's paw, and Skipp just absolutely thunders that one in under the crossbar. A wonderful start to the second half. Kepa actually does get a hand on it that tips it onto the crossbar. But ultimately, the strike has too much power in it. Kepa's caught off guard, and it's Tottenham 1, Chelsea 0. Well, I was going to say, Tottenham at home, their games never finish goalless. Over 130 games since that last happened, and well, it's not going to end today as Tottenham lead against Chelsea, and Graham Potter's woes as Chelsea manager continue. What a hit that is by Oliver Skipp. Pick that one out. And well, I will run through you any team news when the game slows down a little bit. A free kick has been given. I'll do that now. There was no changes at half-time, so for Tottenham it remains the same. Fraser Forster in goal. A back three of Christian Romero, Eric Darren, Clement Longley, Emerson Royale and Ben Davies as the wing-backs. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in the middle with Oliver Skipp, who has just scored his first goal for Tottenham. And then Kulusevski and Richarlison head behind Harry Kane, the striker, the captain for Tottenham. Oh, what a hit that is. As for Chelsea, Kepa in goal. Reece James and Ben Chilwell are your fullbacks. Kalidou Koulibaly partners with Wesley Fofana at the moment. Obviously, Thiago Silva having to be withdrawn through injury around about 18 minutes in. Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Enzo Fernandez in the middle. And then Hakim Ziyech, João Felix and Raheem Sterling are behind Kai Havertz. As Tottenham again have a chance to attack. They play it back to Højbjerg. Now, obviously, if you've only just joined us, Tottenham have gone 1-0 up, but they probably were the closest to breaking the deadlock in the first half as Chelsea clear the ball away, but again, not good enough. Here's Royale. Royale takes it into the Chelsea penalty area. Kulusevski plays it to Kane. Kane going to try and play a ball through, but it's well dealt with by Koulibaly. Yes, Tottenham came close this first half. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's deflected effort from outside the box ended up crashing off of the post. As for Chelsea, Raheem Sterling probably came closest. And he's on the ball now. And there's a 2-on-2 if Sterling can find Ziyech, but he can't. It's a good tackle. And now Tottenham have a chance to build again, just inside Chelsea's half. Royale's pass is poor though, and Chilwell will have a chance to break through. If you have only just joined us as well, worth noting that Hakim Ziyech almost being sent off at the end of the first half. His red card for lashing out at Emerson Royale ultimately rescinded by Stuart Atwell when he looked at the VAR monitor as Reece James gives a free kick away inside Tottenham's penalty area there. Yeah, it was a bit of a tepid first half that ramped up to 100 towards the end as added time saw 3 yellow cards, but again, it could have been 2 yellow cards and 1 red. So Kai Havertz and Emerson Royale also being booked, as well as Hakim Ziyech there. No other bookings, though, for the game. As Tottenham, as we head into the 50-minute mark, Tottenham lead 1-0 and are currently closing the gap between them and Manchester United in third to 4 points. Obviously, Manchester United not playing this weekend, so will have a game in hand. They play in the Carabao Cup final in just under 2 hours' time. You guys can check that out on the Commentary Hub live later today. Emerson Royale plays one out to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg here. Here's Longley, clips the ball in. Richarlison, it falls out to Kulusevski, but Chilwell manages to intervene and clear the ball away. It's a good ball in, and Harry Kane had found himself free. Ultimately, it didn't go to him. Loftus-Cheek gives away the ball. He wants a throw-in, but the throw-in has been given in way of Tottenham. Spurs will have a throw-in just inside their own half as Kepa is tending to Harry Kane. Like I said, the ball was close to Kane, but ultimately didn't get to it. And I think he clashed a little bit with the defender. Yeah, with Koulibaly. Koulibaly almost just headers the side of Harry Kane's face almost. And Harry Kane rightfully holding the side of his neck there in a little bit of discomfort, but he'll get up and he'll carry on going. What a start to the second half this has been, though. Tottenham Hotspur 1-0 up against Chelsea as Graham Potter's woes as Chelsea manager continue. A loss today will keep them 4 points behind Brentford in 9th. And also will end up keeping them level on points with Aston Villa in 11th. That's a great switch ball, though, to Ziyech, though. Ziyech on his left foot. We know he can strike him from there, but that one just over the top of the crossbar. Fraser Forster not bothered with that one at all as Chelsea's number 22 fires one wide. Obviously, a lot of controversy surrounding Hakim Ziyech on a yellow card, but could be on a red. If you've only just joined us. Tottenham with the ball now. Here's Richarlison. Richarlison goes backwards, plays it into Kane. Kane holds the ball up and plays it to Oliver Skipp, the goal scorer. And now Skipp drives forward. There'll probably be shouts for him to shoot there, but instead he plays it out to Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale on his left foot. Takes it round one, but Koulibaly stops him in his tracks. Oliver Skipp wins the ball back though. Here's Højbjerg. Højbjerg plays it back to Christian Romero. Romero caught in possession almost there by Felix, but Tottenham are going to keep possession. The ball's played to Kulusevski. Advantage is played by Stuart Atwell as Kai Havertz caught Eric Dyer as he played that one down. Here's Romero. Plays it back to Højbjerg. Højbjerg spreads the ball out to Emerson Royale, who's been given the freedom of this right-hand side so far this second half. He whips the ball in towards Richarlison. Ultimately headed away by Reece James, who goes down holding his head. Richarlison holding his head too, and we're going to have a little bit of stoppage in play whilst both Richarlison and Reece James are seen to. It was a good ball in from Emerson Royale, and it looked like his Brazilian counterpart was going to rise up and nod that one down. But ultimately, Reece James managed to get the jump on him. Stop a penalty from stop a potential second goal from happening. Richarlison just been assessed by the Tottenham physios, but looks like he's going to be able to carry on. As for Reece James, it's probably going to be the same. Well, Richarlison, I think, wants to come back on the field, but Stuart Atwell's telling him he's got to stay out for a little bit. Again, a little bit of frustration directed towards the referee by the Tottenham players. Richarlison still being ordered to leave the field, and it's still not happening. Obviously, Richarlison, the subject of the little scuffle that saw 3 players being carded, as he is now allowed to rejoin the field of play. Ben Chilwell now plays it back to Koulibaly. Koulibaly to Kepa. Kepa now spreads the player out right. Chelsea obviously still have a good amount of time, still have 35 minutes to bring this one back, but they're down 1-0 in what has been an all too familiar scoreline for Chelsea under Graham Potter. A loss today will mean that'll be 2 wins in 10 league games since the restart after the World Cup. You got to think His seat is getting even hotter as the minutes go by. Here's Enzo Fernandez now. Ultimately, though, it was an absolutely wonderful strike from Oliver Skip. Graham Potter couldn't really do anything about that. Koulibaly manages to win himself a throw-in and throws it down the line, but I don't think he was able to actually throw that one on the pitch. So it's still going to be a Tottenham throw-in. No, sorry, a Chelsea throw-in. But I don't think Koulibaly is going to be taking this one. Graham Potter looks on as the play unfolds just in front of him on this near side. Here's Loftus-Cheek. Plays it out wide to Reece James. Reece James. Here's Fofana. Fofana now. Chelsea are going to enjoy a little bit of possession now that Tottenham don't need to press them as high. As Enzo Fernandez gets on the ball and plays one forward to João Felix. João Felix, a ball through to Raheem Sterling, but he can't get it under control. He keeps the ball though. It's Ben Chilwell now on this left-hand side. Chilwell plays a switch ball. And here's Reece James. Reece James to Ziyech. Ziyech now to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek plays in Enzo Fernandez. But Tottenham again not giving Chelsea an inch when it comes to their defence. So solid at the back of Tottenham. And, well, Chelsea, they're not too good going forward. Only 23 league goals this season. That's the 7th worst in the division. Sterling now. That's good football. Sterling receives the ball back. Can he keep it in? No, he cannot. The referee gives a goal kick. There's a nice passage of play there from Chelsea, though. A nice 1-2. They just need to amp up the pace a little bit more, and that's what they did. And ultimately, Sterling unable to cross the ball, as it looks like Dennis Zakaria is getting ready to be interjected into proceedings here. Interesting substitution from Graham Potter, opting to bring on a more defensive midfielder when they're 1-0 down. It'll be interesting to see who he comes on for as Tottenham bring the ball forward, but it's one there. Oh, and that's a great header by Oliver Skip to stop Enzo Fernandez from starting a counter-attack. Here's Koulibaly. Drops it off to Reece James now in the centre of this field. Plays it forward to João Felix. Back to James. And James plays it out wide to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell to Reece James. James plays it across to Fofana. It's played across yet again. And it's well done there by Ziyech, who takes it round one, takes it round another, goes down, but the referee gives nothing. Here's Skip. Plays it forward to Emerson Royale, who has a little bit of room to run into here. And he takes that opportunity. Into the final third now, he pays it back to Kulusevski. Kulusevski to Højbjerg. Back to Kulusevski. Here's Emerson Royale. But lest we not forget, it was his shot that forced Kepa into a save that ended up being cleared out to Oliver Skip, who fired in under the crossbar to make it 1-0. As Tottenham now carry on working, and Chelsea win the ball back and they win a free kick. And a yellow card is being brandished out here. As Stuart Atwell marches over towards Ben Davies and shows him the yellow card. I mean, yeah, Loftus-Cheek, he does take it round him, and Ben Davies just swipes his legs from underneath him. It is a clear yellow card, as Ben Davies becomes the 4th player to go into Stuart Atwell's book this afternoon. As we just head towards the hour mark, Chelsea have a free kick inside their own half. It's still 1-0 to Tottenham. Obviously, this result as it stands will keep Chelsea 4 points behind Brentford in 9th. They need to get working. They need to find a goal from somewhere. But Tottenham have defended so well in this opening hour. And now Graham Potter, he's looking to his bench to try and provide a little bit of impact. Dennis Zakaria and Mason Mount getting ready to come on. Here's Koulibaly at the back. That's good football to get a bit of room for Fofana to play a ball over the top towards Havertz, who holds it up well and knocks it down to João Felix. João Felix driving forward now. Felix on his right foot strikes, and it's a good block by Eric Dyer. Here's Felix again. Loftus-Cheek to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez now plays one down left to Ben Chilwell, who plays it to Raheem Sterling. Sterling to Enzo Fernandez, who clips the ball in. And, well, Felix had got himself open, but the cross was too close to Fraser Forster, who will happily pluck that one out of the air. Such a huge frame and such huge hands makes the ball just look tiny, does Fraser Forster, as he rolls one out to Clement Longley. He spreads the ball now out right to Emerson Royale. We've got half an hour left in this one. Emerson dragged back. Nothing given. Harry Kane plays the ball over, but it's a little bit too strong, you'd think. Kepa's there to sweep up and head it down to Ben Chilwell. He's got Kulusevski breathing down him. He goes down and a free kick is given. And the Tottenham bench think that's a little bit soft. It happened just in front of them. But Stuart Atwell does give Ben Chilwell and Chelsea the free kick there. If you just join, substitutions being made. If you're just joining us, it's still 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. It's going to be Mason Mount coming on the field in place of Hakim Ziyech. Obviously, Ziyech on a yellow card. Very lucky to still be on the field, many Tottenham fans would say, after being brandished a red card earlier in the season. And it's going to be Zakaria coming on for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Maybe with Zakaria being entered into the fray, this means that Enzo Fernandez is going to be used in a little bit more of an attacking role, obviously with Zakaria being a mainly defensive player. And Mason Mount will move into this. We'll just slot in, I think, on this in the centre. João Felix is being moved out to the left, and Raheem Sterling will take his place on the right-hand side. Chelsea now with the ball. Enzo Fernandez spreads the ball out right towards Raheem Sterling, but it's well dealt with by Ben Davies. Ben Davies obviously has to be a little bit careful now that Raheem Sterling's on his side, already on a yellow card. Doesn't want to be sent off in this one. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Takes it on his right foot. Tries to clip a ball in, but that's a heavy ball, and it'll go out easily for a goal kick. As it stands, it's still the goal from Oliver Skipp, which has Tottenham in the lead. As Graham Potter looks on in almost confusion at how his Chelsea side are 1-0 down. It's been a pretty it's been a pretty even game so far. Tottenham taking their only real chance of the game, as they have the ball here on this left-hand side with Ben Davies. He plays it into Richarlison. Richarlison now plays it backwards. And here's Eric Dyer on the ball now. Dyer now plays it out to Christian Romero. Romero plays one down to Emerson Royale, but he left it short. And in the end, Tottenham are a little bit lucky that they're going to end up with the throw-in here. Ben Chilwell just sneaking in there, putting his foot in the cookie jar, you could say. And almost reaping the rewards. Tottenham have the throw-in though. Royale plays it back to Romero. Romero spreads the play towards Longley. Longley now drives with it. Has to turn back as Mason Mount chases him down. Gives it to Højbjerg, who plays a really good ball over the top, but it's well dealt with by Reece James. Tottenham still have the ball here, though, with Harry Kane. Kane takes it past one, plays it out into Emerson Royale. Royale now, with João Felix in front of him, plays it out to Kulusevski. He gets it back, though, does Royale, and plays it back to Oliver Skipp, the goal scorer. Here's Højbjerg. Back to Skipp. Here's Skipp again. Skipp plays it to Højbjerg. There's plenty of room on this left-hand side if Tottenham can use it. And the ball over the top is a little bit long, but Davies can still keep it in. But his cross ultimately not finding the target. And now Chelsea have a chance to attack again. And they need to put a little bit of pace in their attacks now, which they're going to try and do through João Felix. Felix plays a nice ball across to Raheem Sterling. Sterling plays the ball in, trying to find Mason Mount, but it's well dealt with. A combination of Christian Romero and Richarlison, a Brazilian and an Argentine, working together to stop Mason Mount. Coming up to about 20 minutes played in this second half. It's still 1-0 to Tottenham. Oliver Skipp's goal, around about 35 seconds from the restart, is what separates these two sides. And what a goal it was. Out of the top draw, one that you're going to see on many compilations when you look at in the build up to this game in the future. An absolutely wonderful strike for Oliver Skipp to get his first goal for the club. Ball over the top, trying to find Ben Davies, and he'll chase down Kepa, who'll play it short to Koulibaly. Koulibaly to Ben Chilwell now. Takes it inside, but that's a great challenge by Romero. Sorry, by Emerson Royale. And now there's men free in the middle if Harry Kane can find him. But Ben Davies, the cross ultimately goes just above him and he's unable to win the header. Emerson Royale, what a tackle that was. To just nick the ball off of Ben Chilwell and create a 3-on-3 in Tottenham's favour. The game's starting to become a little bit more open now as Chelsea chase the game. Ben Chilwell plays it to Enzo Fernandez. This Tottenham crowd is getting louder now. Zakaria has played short back to Fofana. Enzo Fernandez now plays it out wide to Sterling. Sterling takes the ball on his right and starts to run with it, but it's a good challenge from Richarlison, who's been good when he's had to do his defensive duties. Ultimately, Tottenham can't find a way out of that little hole that they got themselves in Chelsea's half. A little bit of it was a very tight situation for them to get out of. In the end, Chelsea will get a throw in just inside their own half. Fernandez plays one back to Reece James. He gets the ball back, does Enzo Fernandez. Here's Havertz. Down to Chilwell. Chilwell to João Felix. You got to think if anything good's going to come for Chelsea, it's probably going to come through that little Portuguese. Felix plays a nice 1-2 with Enzo Fernandez. Felix gets it back. Plays it in to Sterling. Good ball through and Havertz is in. But Fraser Forster does well to get down quickly and take the ball from Havertz's feet. I'm not sure if he was onside or not. We'll see here. Yeah, the German is onside, and it's such good goalkeeping from Fraser Forster to run out off his line, dive at the foot of Kai Havertz, and cleanly take possession of the ball. Chelsea were in there, though. You got to think if they carry on as is, it was great build-up play from Enzo Fernandez and João Felix. Like I said, if anything good is going to come from Chelsea, it's probably going to come from them two. Chelsea play a free kick quickly in Tottenham's half. James plays one to Zakaria. Zakaria into Havertz. Played out to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell to Mount. Mount into Enzo Fernandez. Plays one out wide, but it's a poor ball and it's well dealt with by Ben Davies. Just hacking the ball up, letting Harry Kane chase it down. Fofana will get the ball though. Comes inside. And it's played backwards to Zakaria. Reece James now plays it back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. Tottenham pressing a little bit higher now with Kulusevski. Ben Chilwell now plays one down the line, and I'm not sure what Ben Chilwell was trying to do there, but he's just scuffs it, just tries to chip the ball down the line. He ultimately just ends up pathetically almost putting it out of play. And Graham Potter looks on with his hands behind his back, muted expression on his face. Penny for his thoughts right now, you got to think, as his side are 1-0 down with just over 20 minutes left here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ball's played forward towards Kai Havertz, but Romero wins it in the air. Chelsea will keep possession though with João Felix. He flicks it over to Zakaria. Zakaria has been swarmed by Tottenham players, and the referee is going to give a free kick in favour of the Switzerland international. Tottenham yet to make a change so far in this game with just over 20 minutes left. Obviously, Tottenham do have a game midweek in the FA Cup 5th round against Sheffield United. Sheffield United ultimately 7 points clear at the moment from third place Middlesbrough in the Championship. You've got to be thinking Tottenham might be seeing them in the Premier League next season. But for the time being, they will see them at Bramall Lane on Wednesday. For the time being, though, it is still 1-0 here in this game against Chelsea as Enzo Fernandez spreads it out to Reece James. James now gives it on the edge of the box to Raheem Sterling. Enzo Fernandez now tries to flick a ball over to Sterling, who wins it in the air, surprisingly enough, over Ben Davies, but the header is straight into the hands of Fraser Forster, who throws it out to Emerson Royale. Royale to Kulusevski. It's a nice 1-2 ball, and Royale has a load of green to run into, and Harry Kane to support him. Kulusevski's now coming through, But ultimately, Ben Chilwell with a good intervention, and Oliver Skip with an absolutely crunching challenge. But Chelsea are going to keep the ball. Here's Emerson, but Emerson Royale wins it back. Kai Havertz ultimately had no support there after João Felix was wiped out in a hard but fair challenge from Oliver Skip, who's having a great game so far today. Harry Kane gets the ball and spreads it out to Ben Davies. They've had so much room on this left-hand side, and Ben Davies whips the ball in. And Fofana with an important interception to stop the ball from going to Richarlison, who had the whole of the goal to aim for pretty much in the middle of the penalty area. Richarlison's still looking for his first Premier League goal for Tottenham, obviously scoring in the cup competitions. Hasn't scored yet in the Premier League for Tottenham. Stuart Atwell is running down the tunnel. Stuart Atwell is running down the dugout. I'm not sure if Stuart Atwell knows that there's still 20 minutes to be played. In fact, no, he's just changing his top almost. I wonder why he's changing his top. I wonder what's going on with him. We don't know, but I guess this is a good time to let you guys know that we are an hour and a half, just under, away from Manchester United versus Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final. For Manchester United, it's a chance to win their first piece of silverware since Jose Mourinho was in charge of Newcastle. Of Manchester United. And as for Newcastle, it's their first chance to win some major silverware in over 60 years. So that's going to be a big one. You can check that one out on the Commentary Hub live. It's also a chance to look at Oliver Skip's goal 35 seconds into the second half. His first one for Tottenham, and it's an absolutely wonderful strike. It's only his 5th league start. He's been subbed in every single league game he's played so far. I don't think he's going to get subbed in this one. He's having an absolutely perfect game so far. And ultimately, he's the reason that Tottenham are in the league, in the lead, sorry. If you look at it, it seems like Kepa was a bit obscured by Koulibaly, led him to react a little bit late. He still managed to get a hand on it, but that just tipped it onto the crossbar and into the goal. 18 minutes remain in this one. We don't know if Stuart Atwell is ready to continue. But at the moment, it's still 1-0 as Todd Broley looks on. He's got a bit of a muted face. I said, Penny, for your thoughts in regards to Graham Potter. It'll be interesting to see what Todd Broley is thinking about right now as he watches the club that he bought just 6 months ago start to go into decline once again. 18 minutes left in this London derby. It's Tottenham 1, Chelsea 0. As we are about to get ready to restart the game. Stuart Atwell has had a change of clothing and he's back and he's ready to carry on. Tottenham have a throw in inside Chelsea's half now. In a bit of a dangerous position, you got to think. It's played forward to Richarlison, but it's well dealt with by Mount. And it's cleared away by James. Here's Kane now on the ball. And he does so well to shake his man. But his ball across to Kulusevski is intercepted by Ben Chilwell. But only as far as Christian Romero. But he's been caught in possession there. And is that a poor challenge? The referee says no, nothing doing. Mason Mount is not happy with the decision. And he's going to get a card for his troubles. He'll be the 5th person to go into Stuart Atwell's book tonight. And, well, I mean, just a lapse of concentration from Christian Romero. And he's been forced to make a lunging challenge there. But he does win the ball. At full speed, it did look a little bit dangerous. Kai Havertz goes down and immediately clutches his right shin. But ultimately, no foul in the end. It's well recovered by Christian Romero. And Mason Mount probably said a little bit too much to the referee there. He's going in Stuart Atwell's book for dissent. But maybe that's what Chelsea need, just someone with a little bit of fire, someone that can bring a bit of energy. And, well, Tottenham, they just need to keep their heads as we head to around about 15 minutes left. Ball's played into Richarlison. Kane spreads the play to Ben Davies, who again has a lot of room to find a ball. But again, it's well dealt with by Koulibaly, who seems to have won everything in the air so far today. Here's Kulusevski. Off balance, but still manages to keep the ball past Enzo Fernandez. But João Felix is there to finish the job. But Tottenham win the ball back with Richarlison now. on his right foot. He strikes it and it's just over the bar. Well, the shot was on. He didn't have much other option. Maybe he was looking at Oliver Skip for a little bit of inspiration, but he wasn't able to find it. Again, it's such good pressure from Tottenham. Chelsea can't seem to live with it when they've put the pressure up to 100. And they win the ball back in another dangerous position and get a shot off. Here's João Felix now on the ball, just inside Tottenham's half. Less than 15 minutes to play here now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham lead 1-0 thanks to a beauty of a goal from Oliver Skip. Here's Enzo Fernandez now. That's a good ball. And here's Raheem Sterling. Inside the box now. Plays it forward. There's a chance for Kai Havertz, but it's well done by Christian Romero to get his body in between Havertz and Fraser Forster. And in the end, Forster is grateful to have the ball clutching to his chest. And he'll stay down and he'll make sure that he'll use the whole of his 6-second advantage with the ball. It's such good defending from Christian Romero to just shoulder Kai Havertz away. A little bit of a pushing match again, but this time between Chilwell and Kulusevski, the opposite numbers going at it. Nothing coming of it this time, unlike at the start of the first half. At the end of the first half. If you've only just joined us now, Hakim Ziyech was shown a red card for lashing out against Emerson Royale, which was then rescinded and brought down to a yellow card once Stuart Atwell went to look at the VAR monitor. And then 30 seconds after the restart, Oliver Skip scoring to put Tottenham in dreamland. But here comes Chelsea trying to spoil that with Kai Havertz. Havertz plays it out wide to Reece James now. The Tottenham have 10 people behind the ball. Harry Kane, he's still in front of it. A ball's played through to Havertz though, and it's out to Reece James. James plays it into Sterling. Sterling to Havertz, and the ball across is a bit tame, and it's cleared away for a Chelsea corner. It's good build-up play. Chelsea can't seem to find the finishing touch, which has been the story of their season so far, you got to think. It's good football between Reece James, Kai Havertz, and Raheem Sterling. Havertz manages to stay on side. Maybe he just needed to be reminded that he had a little bit more time there just to take the ball down and really pick out a man in the box or go for goal himself. But in the end, Ben Chilwell will have a chance to put the ball in with an in-swinging corner. Chilwell whips the ball in towards the middle of the field, but it's well headed away by Eric Dyer. Reece James strikes from distance. It's a poor hit and it's deflected by Enzo Fernandez, but only into the hands of Fraser Forster. He throws it out wide. Ben Davies now to Højbjerg. Højbjerg to Davis, and Davis loses control of the ball and ends up giving away a throw-in. Tottenham being a little bit lackadaisical in possession at the moment. Chelsea have a throw-in, and a substitution is about to be made as Heung-min Son gets ready to enter the fray. Obviously came off the bench last week against West Ham United to score his 4th league goal of the season. He'll come on in place of Dejan Kulusevski, who's had a good game on this right-hand side. He's caused a lot of issues, but his night is over. And Heung-min Son is at least going to get the last 12 minutes of this game as he is cheered onto the field. Hopefully, Tottenham fans are going to be hoping that after that goal against West Ham, Son is going to be getting a little bit of confidence. Obviously, that was his 4th goal of the season. Remember, all of his prior 3 goals were scored in that 5-2 rout of Leicester earlier in the season, where he came off of the bench to score. So let's hope. Tottenham fans will be hoping that Son has found a little bit of confidence, and a second goal wouldn't go amiss for Tottenham here. Chelsea on the ball now though, and that's a great challenge from Romero. Richarlison doing well too, and it's played forward towards Harry Kane, who's brought down by Zakaria, and a free kick is given to Tottenham. And another little bit of a pushy match is going on. Ben Chilwell again, the subject of it, and Stuart Atwell's having to get into it, trying to separate the players. He's having a word with Christian Romero now. I'm not sure if anything's going to be done. Obviously, he goes down and Romero fires one forward, and I don't think there's anything in that really. Just both sides pushing each other away. I think there's probably as much of it in Romero as there is in Chilwell there. 10 minutes remain on the clock. We have just crossed the 80-minute mark. It is still 1-0 to Tottenham. Oliver Skipp's first goal for the club is what separates the two sides. As it stands, Tottenham are going to go 4 points ahead of Newcastle in 5th place. Obviously, Newcastle after today will have 2 games in hand on the Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously, Newcastle playing in the Carabao Cup final in just over an hour's time, which you can check out live on the commentary hub. Tottenham with the ball now here, though. Oliver Skipp does well to keep possession, and it's given to Richarlison. Emerson Royale plays it down to Richarlison. Richarlison, he's got Koulibaly in front of him, and he does well to win a corner. And the crowd start cheering as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is getting ready to enter the fray. A man that we haven't seen much this season for Chelsea. And Mykhailo Mudryk is also getting stripped and ready to come on for the last 10 minutes or so. Heung-min Son is getting ready to deliver this ball into the box, though. He gives the signal. It's going to be an out-swinging corner with his right foot. Into the middle of the box, and it's flicked on, and it's turned in! And it's that man again! Harry Kane! It was always going to be him, wasn't it? It's 2-0 Tottenham. And you got to think now, with just under 10 minutes left, it is almost impossible for Chelsea to come back. They are staring down the barrel of yet another league defeat under Graham Potter. And is Graham Potter staring down the barrel of a second... is Graham Potter staring down the barrel of yet another defeat? He's onside. It's a great flick on by Cristiano Romero. And Harry Kane is there to tap in his 18th league goal of the season. It's such a good finish from Harry Kane just to almost set his body, just to come back. The ball's played just behind him, but he does well to adjust and tap in the second goal of the game. And with 8 minutes left, you've got to think that Tottenham are well on their way to 3 massive, massive points. As for Chelsea, João Felix has been removed from the field of play, and so has Raheem Sterling, as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mykhailo Mudryk get ready to come on. Although, is anything that they're going to do mere consolation? Who knows? It is Tottenham 2, Chelsea 0, and it's Harry Kane, with his 18th Premier League goal of the season, has put a little bit of breathing room between Tottenham and their London rivals. What is Graham Potter thinking now? Surely his job is becoming more insecure as the day goes on. Chelsea fans getting ready to leave the stadium almost in abject defeat. It is 2-0 to Tottenham with just over 6 minutes remaining in the 90. Is Zakaria with the ball, does well to take it past one and plays it out wide. It's played back to Reece James. James plays it to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez now spreads the play to Mykhailo Mudryk, coming off the bench, the number 15. Whips the ball in, and it's a not a bad ball. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang almost just mistimes his run. What an introduction that could have been for the two substitutes. In the end, it's Ben Davies' head that makes sure that that ball goes to safety. Enzo Fernandez tries the ball in, and ultimately it's a poor one. Forster's going to claim, and he will happily drop to the floor to milk as much time as he can. Todd Broley looks on. Again, muted expression from the American owner. As for the Chelsea fans, they're looking on in despair. Kane flicks the ball on, but it's well dealt with by Fofana. Here's Fernandez. Just a bit of head tennis at the moment in Tottenham's own half. Emerson Royale stops that with a volley down the line, but it's only as far as Ben Chilwell who pick up the ball inside his own half. Here's Enzo Fernandez again. Fernandez plays it to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell now to Mykhailo Mudryk. Here's Mudryk. Plays it back to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell plays it to Fernandez. Fernandez now. Plays it across to Kalidou Koulibaly. Koulibaly spreads the play to Reece James. Here's James. Koulibaly. That's a good challenge by Zakaria. Mudrik's going to strike from distance. And it's just over the bar. He puts his head in his hands. I mean, the strike was there to be hit. But ultimately, his strike just flies over the top of the crossbar. If you are just joining us, we have less than 5 minutes remaining in the 90. And it's 2-0 to Tottenham. Oliver Skipp's first goal 30 seconds after the restart for the second half put Tottenham in the lead. And then just on 82 minutes, Harry Kane doubled the advantage. It was a great flick on from Eric Dyer from Heung-min-son's corner, and Kane was there unmarked at the back post, and that was Tottenham's first mistake, and that was Chelsea's first mistake, and ultimately they've been made to pay the price. Koulibaly plays one out to Ben Chilwell. You got to think if Chelsea are even going to get anything from the game, it has to come now. Mudryk. He's been swarmed by two players. He's taken down by Romero, and a throw-in has been given. No foul. Mudryk will get up and he'll get ready to take it. Ben Chilwell getting ready to take the throw. The throw-in was taken, but ultimately the referee has stopped the game. Maybe looking a little bit of something from the VAR room. I think it's for a challenge earlier on by Richarlison on Wesley Fofana. I don't think anything's going to get given. The game carries on. Reece James now. Still with the ball now, but Tottenham have been so rigid at the back. You know, they've nullified Chelsea's attack so successfully today. Enzo Fernandez now. Plays it back to Koulibaly. Koulibaly to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell to Mudryk. Mudryk tries to play a ball through Richarlison's legs, but Richarlison does well to stand strong. Mudryk with the throw-in now. To Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez spreads the play towards Reece James. James does well to keep possession. Plays it back towards Wesley Fofana. Fofana bringing the ball forward now. But then plays it back to Koulibaly. Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea's number 5 spreads the play to Reece James, who plays the ball forward to Kai Havertz. Havertz back to Reece James. James plays it to Mount. Havertz, Mount with a bit of room here to drive. Plays it to Reece James. Reece James has a chance to put a ball in the box, which he does. And Aubameyang was in the middle there, but he was unable to make proper contact with the ball. And in the end, Mudryk gives away a free kick on Richarlison, just deep in Tottenham's half. It's a good ball from Reece James, but in the end, it's just above Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as Tottenham get ready to make their second change of the day. It's Richarlison who comes off. He is still yet to score his first Premier League goal for his new club, and it will be Pedro Porro, the new signing, coming on in his place. Obviously, Richarlison, he's a bit disappointed. He obviously wants the goals, but ultimately not coming for him today. Pedro Porro, the new January signing, comes on in his place. The Spaniard from Sporting Lisbon coming in the January transfer window, and he'll slot on this right-hand side where Richarlison was. Tottenham now with the ball. Harry Kane plays a heavy ball out to Pedro Porro, asking quite a bit of the substitute, and he does well to just make sure the ball goes out for a throw in deep in Chelsea's half rather than a goal kick. Ben Chilwell being told to bring the ball backwards by the linesman. And he'll take the throw in here. The ball's thrown in, but Tottenham win the ball back. Here's Porro. Pedro Porro tries to take it past Ben Chilwell, but Chilwell stands tall. And he'll get the throw in, will Chilwell. Around about 20 seconds left of the 90 minutes. It's looking like the 3 points are going to be Tottenham's. And as for Chelsea, it's yet another defeat under Graham Potter. Still only 2 wins in the Premier League since the restart from the World Cup. And after last week's defeat against Southampton, this is definitely not how Graham Potter thought his side would react. 6 added minutes for at the end of this one. Ball in by Mudryk is headed away by Eric Dyer. Mudryk rises up to try and win the second ball. In the end, it goes out, and it will be a Chelsea throw-in. Next games for both sides. Obviously, Tottenham midweek have a game against Sheffield United in the FA Cup 5th round. Chelsea no longer in the FA Cup. They face Leeds United next weekend at Stamford Bridge. It was going to be a very important game. Obviously, Leeds are feeling a little bit revitalised, you may say, under Javi Gracia, winning yesterday against Southampton, putting a bit of daylight between them and the Saints. Chelsea, well, they're going to want to avenge the 3-0 defeat. That ultimately was the final game in Thomas Tuchel's reign at Chelsea. Or how the Chelsea fans may want him back now. Here's Zakaria on the ball. Tries to put a ball in, but it's deflected. His Chilwell's strike is tame and it's deflected. And Chelsea will keep the ball out here with Mudryk on this left-hand side. Puts the ball in with his left foot towards the back post, and it's again well dealt with by Ben Davies. Tottenham have not given Chelsea any room to breathe when it comes to going forward. Here's Mason Mount on the ball now. Plays a nice ball through to Zakaria. He plays one into Enzo Fernandez, whose strike is deflected by Oliver Skip, and it'll go out for a corner. We're just over 4 minutes left of the 6 added on. Oliver Skip's first Tottenham goal gave Tottenham the advantage, which was then doubled with about 8 minutes left of the 90 by Harry Kane. Mudryk with a corner now, in swinging. Doesn't beat the first man though. Here's Ben Chilwell, plays the ball down the wing, but it's not good enough, and Pedro Porro will end up with the ball. Porro driving it down this right-hand side. He's still going as Porro, and he tries to play a bit of an audacious ball through to Heung-min Son, but I don't even think Son's quick enough to get to that, and Kepa will end up with the ball. Here's Fofana. To Enzo Fernandez. Mount to James. Zakaria. Chelsea with the ball just outside Tottenham's penalty area here. Here's Reece James. Reece James plays it back. And it's given away in the end. And again, it's just been so solid defending from Tottenham all night tonight. Well, all afternoon, sorry. Yeah, I mean, Tottenham, they've defended so well. Not given Chelsea a chance to attack. Nullified their threats so well. Ultimately, in the end, João Felix probably came closest. As Emerson Royale goes down, and nothing's given, except now it is a throw-in is given. Sorry, not a free kick. Tottenham will have a throw-in deep inside their own half. All really about game management now for Tottenham. You know, doing nothing stupid. They're going to want to keep the clean sheet to build on their 2-0 victory at the London Stadium last weekend. And obviously, this is a fixture that Tottenham have struggled in. You know, they haven't beaten Chelsea in the league since 2018. Chelsea have won every single game played at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but that won't be the case in around about 2 minutes' time, unless Chelsea can pull out a miracle that's probably only been seen once or twice before, and that's score 3, to win the game in the last 2 minutes. Tottenham bring the ball forward, but Zakaria wins it back. Here's Reece James now. Oh, it's given away again. And again, this Chelsea team have just been a bit lazy on the ball recently. And Graham Potter looks on, grimacing at what he's watching. Wonder what he is thinking right now. Obviously, his side went down immediately after the restart to an Oliver Skip thunderbolt. And as it stands, they're going to end up remaining 10th in the league, but still 4 points off of Brentford in 9th, and level on points with Aston Villa in 11th. Here's Kane. Højbjerg. Out wide now. Reece James pressing the ball here, and he does well. But again, it's worked back towards long play. Here's Oliver Skip. Oliver Skip plays it out to Romero. And, there's no urgency in Tottenham's attack anymore. That's a great challenge from Oliver Skip, who's been everywhere today. He's ready to complete his first 90 minutes of the season in only his 5th league start this year. And what a game it's been for him. That ball from Enzo Fernandez ricochets off of Harry Kane. Thankfully for Chelsea fans, back to Koulibaly. Here's Reece James. Wesley Fofana. Plays it into Zakaria. Zakaria tries to play one out to Reece James, but it's dealt with well by Longley, who's had a good game. And now Heung-min Son has a chance to run at him. Maybe to pile on the misery a little bit more for Graham Potter's side. It's defended well. And as the ball flies in the air, the referee will blow his whistle to end today's game. For Chelsea, it's yet another defeat in the league. They have won twice in the 10 Premier League games since the restart and will remain in 10th position, 4 points off of Brentford in 9th. As for Tottenham, they stay 4th but cut the gap between them and Manchester United to 4 points. They are now 4 points ahead of Newcastle as well. However, Newcastle do have 2 games in hand. A bit of a tepid game to begin with. Got really feisty towards the end of the first half, which saw a Hakim Ziyech red card being rescinded just before half-time. That fiery element continued into the second half with Oliver Skip's first ever Tottenham goal thundering off of the crossbar about 30 seconds into the game. And then about 8 minutes from the end, Harry Kane, who else, to turn the ball into the back of the net and ensure that it is Tottenham that keep the 3 points here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Remember to check out commentary on the Newcastle-Manchester United Carabao Cup final in about an hour's time. But from me here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the final score on this 1:30 kickoff on Sunday is Tottenham 2, Chelsea 0.